G'day, it's Heath here from pickinglessons.com. Merrily Kissed The Quaker. This is such a fun tune to play. It's a double jig, we're in 6/8 time. There are 3 parts, we're in the key of G. In a moment we're going to take a look at part A of the tune here in this lesson, but if you head on over to pickinglessons.com, you'll be able to get yourself a copy of the tablature that we're working from, so all 3 parts. In the tablature you've got your left hand markings and your right hand pick direction as well. Being a jig, it's a bit of a tricky one for your right hand at times. You'll also find the next part of this lesson where we have a look at part B and part C of the tune. We'll break that down, and you'll also have some play along and backing tracks there, so as you get to know the tune you can use those to help guide you through your practice. So pickinglessons.com. Okay, let's start with part A nice and slow, then we'll break it down to a couple of exercises looking at your right hand and looking at the different rhythms we need for this 6/8 jig. Part A, once through. 1 and 2 and Okay, so there's part A. Now we are in the key of G major. We're also in 6/8 time. So this is a double jig, and primarily the double jig has 2 sets of 3/8 notes per measure. So 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a. And our rhythm structure for the tune certainly follows that. There are some variations, of course, and we're going to take a look at some of those in a moment. So our right hand, the focus for the right hand as we're playing through, really for the 2 groups of 3/8 notes, we're going to be trying to play down, up, down, down, up, down. So each pulse that we have in the bar is with a downstroke. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a. So that creates a bit of a challenge up to tempo because you end up with 2 downstrokes quite quickly in a row. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. But that's our rhythm structure we're focusing on. And you'll notice in measure 1, we have the 2 groups of 3/8 notes, and our right hand is going to be following that structure. So down, up, down, up, down. If you're unfamiliar with playing a jig with this technique, just use this first measure as an exercise. So just slow it down and get the down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Just repeat that for your right hand to really lock it in. When you start to speed it up, it just really helps to keep that pulse. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a. So that's why we're doing it, starting out each group of 3/8 notes with a downstroke. So down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. The pickup note just before we move on, that's on the last 8th note when we're counting in. So 1 and a 2 and a. So we'll play that as an upstroke. Okay, so we're in the key of G, so we're pretty much in this open position too, so our left hand fingers are pretty straightforward. Anything tricky I'll cover that, but really keep an eye on the tablature if you're not sure. Let's move on, the right hand's much harder. Moving on to measure 2. Measure 2, we have this different rhythm structure in the first beat. And so we're getting this little pickup in there with the 16th notes, a little flurry in there. So we were going to play that as a down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. And then back to the second beat, just regular down, up, down. So again, the right hand, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. When we hit those 16th notes, we're going to pick those as 2 down ups. And so either side of that beat, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So measure 2. Just gives it a nice little articulation in there just to mix up the rhythm a little bit. So when we hear it in context with measure 1 and 2 together, it gives us a nice little articulation to the rhythm, so that's really nice. Okay, now moving on, measure 3 is like measure 1, measure 4. Here we have the same 16th note, so we have the down, down, up, down, down to the quarter note. Here, when we have a quarter note quaver rhythm, 2 and down and up picking, down and up. So measure 4, down, down, up, down and up. Okay, so watch that right hand. So there are our main variations in this part of the tune. We have some 16th notes, so they're always down, up. 2 sets of 3/8 notes, down, up, down, following the pulse. And then if there's a quarter note quaver, down, up, down, up. We don't have many of those. There's a couple of spots where they're used. So looking at the second half of the tune, measure 5 is the same as the beginning. Measure 6, it's the same. Now measure 7, a little different. Here we have the quarter note again, so 1 and 2 and down, up, down, up. Finishing off, final measure here before the repeat, measure 8. That's the same at the end of each of the sections, part B and C as well. The only difference is which note we use to pick us up back into a repeat or moving on to the next section. So in this case we have 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6 for the first ending. Picking hand, down, down, up, down, up. Okay, so there's part A of this tune. It's a really fun one to play actually. A little challenging at times, but certainly not overly hard, and we're not playing at a really cracking tempo either. So this tempo lends itself to those extra 16th notes, not too hard to play. Otherwise, it's pretty straight. Just really watch the rhythm, so the down, up, down of the jig time, 6/8 time, and then the 2/16ths. Really work on getting them as clean as you can. You've got to play this part twice. So part A has a repeat, then part B will have a repeat, and part C will repeat as well. So make sure you're working on the repeats. The second ending is a little bit different. We'll work on that in the next lesson as we move into part B. So head on over to pickinlessons.com and you will find yourself the tablature we've been working through, but you'll also find part B and C of this lesson. We'll break it down in the member section of the site. And you've also got those MP3 tracks as well. So pickinlessons.com, I'll see you there.